Everyone here is the best there is. Who the hell are they gonna get to teach us?
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. Let me be perfectly blunt. You are not my first choice.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not a teacher. Just want to manage expectations.
On a desolate planet, a renegade Vulcan seeks ultimate knowledge.
To find it, we'll need a starship.
And he will stop at nothing to get it.
We have learned more in the past decade from genetics than a century of digging up bones. We have our first genetically modified hybrid.
You just went and made a new dinosaur? Probably not a good idea.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by Gems Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you. Hello and welcome to another Organized Chaos podcast. Joining me is Bobby, who was off last week because,
Yes.
he was being lazy and not fully dedicating to the job. What's up with that?
That's
man?
true.
What's...
It was the elevation. I went on a vacation with my wife out to Colorado for much needed R&R and recharging.
Yeah.
So high elevation is what that called for.
Yeah. Well, that I guess. But yeah, in case you're wondering, this is actually the 50th episode of the podcast.
50.
Yes, which means I've done 50 episodes, and this lazy fucker's done 42 or some shit? 42.
Something like that, yeah.
Jesus, come on. And this podcast is high profit.
They
Sure,
They are. But I'm putting some amateur numbers up. I need to step my game up,
Hey, it's good fun. But we thought it'd be fun to go ahead and just do a live stream. Haven't attempted a live stream in a while. Note we are about a half hour late, so thanks Jericho for hanging in there with us while we figure it out.
Thank you.
But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and share the live stream. For the big 50th episode, we have Top Gun 2, which probably wouldn't have been the movie I would pick, but it's the big new movie out, so we're going to be talking about that. We got Star Trek 5 and Jurassic World.
Yes.
All movies that have definitely been released over time.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, are we ready to roll into Top Gun 2?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get into it.
All right, Top Gun 2. I'm gonna go ahead and say we watched the original. I guess it was 2 weeks ago, and
yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it was fine. This I actually thought was a lot better. We'll have to see how time will judge it, but I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. Where are you at, Bobby?
I enjoyed it too. I mean, I thought right out of the gate, I kind of thought it was going to be very cheesy because of how the opening was really lining up to how the original was. And I was like, what's next? They're going to play Danger.
It's all the runway.
Wow, they didn't even give that. They didn't even give that opening theme much time to breathe until they went right into Kenny Loggins, which, I mean, it's Top Gun. That's the number one song you associate with Maverick.
Yes.
And, I mean, visually, this movie was gorgeous.
Yes.
I could see that they put a lot of time into this, and, it shows. It absolutely shows.
Yeah.
It's definitely a theater experience movie.
Yeah.
Definitely. Unless you have a really baller surround sound.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. For me, I was kind of sold on the story. Basically the story here, I don't know if it's supposed to be the same enemies. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really think about how the enemies in the first one were never named. I just thought they were Russian. I think it's just the Red Star or something. But they're never named.
Yeah, and
they're even less
they're not named
here.
in this one either.
They're way less named here. There's no Red Star or anything.
They just they just say like some enemies have some Iranian plutonium. That is just the closest to any identification, but it's really just, the ownership of said plutonium,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean, they actually have a mission here, though, which kind of helps build the excitement up a bit, because in the first one, they're just like doing random maneuvers, and occasionally these enemies would show up and fuck around with them. And it wasn't until the very end where there's any shooting whatsoever. But
like it was just them getting like their missiles locked on them, and that's it.
But yeah, I feel like it's such a basic thing, but I really like the idea how like Maverick's there to train them for a mission, and it really helps heighten the stakes. They give words live.
They do.
Yes, but yeah,
Sorry.
like every time they do a training mission, it's like, okay, this is what they're training for, instead of like a lot of the first one just felt like, yeah, we're doing training for showboating.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, I did like in the beginning when it showed Maverick's job. He was working, which pretty much was like a naval test pilot, where he breaks Mach 10 and then just takes it to like 10.3
Well,
before he blacks out.
no, I thought like at first I thought it was just gonna be a vanity thing where it's like, okay, he gets to Mach 10. Okay.
Yeah.
But then of course he pushed it. It's like, okay, this is where the ego is. Okay, I gotcha. His ego takes over, and he wrecks the shit out of that plane just to get to what 10.4 or some shit.
Yeah, and it was kind of nice to see where that character is, and it's just about right where you'd think he would be at that point.
Exactly.
Find out that he never moved past captain because any rank higher than they ground him.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to lose his wings. So yeah, he needs to be teaching people at Top Gun.
Yeah, for sure, because he's the most responsible fellow there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, they bring him on to be a trainer, not because. Where is my mind going? But yeah, just essentially because. What else are they gonna do with him?
His experience,
It's Iceman is the only person who's kind of keeping him alive at this point. It's kind of clear nobody wants anything to do with him because he just does whatever the fuck he wants all the time.
He's Maverick, yeah. It's not just a clever call sign.
Yeah, it's also very obnoxiousness. It's like, hey, I can do cool stuff, but I'm obnoxious about it. But yeah, it's brought up that everybody his age is an admiral, like Iceman, who, it's a very brief cameo that Val Kilmer has in this movie, but I really liked it. I don't know the full details. Maybe you could fill us in, but, to my understanding, Val Kilmer has had throat cancer that he's been battling off and on for the past few years. I thought he was in recovery.
Yeah, I believe that he is clear. It was back in 2015 that I believe is when his diagnosis came in, but or at least he's been cancer free of it from then. I'm checking that now. He was undergoing. He had damage to his voice after being diagnosed with throat cancer and undergoing a tracheotomy in 2014. Yeah. But I believe, yeah.
Wow, so
he just lost his voice, but he survived. Yeah, he survived throat cancer. But he just kind of lost his voice in the process.
Well, I looked up his filmography. He has been actively still out there, which is great. But obviously he hasn't been speaking so much, which is unfortunate. Val Kilmer is one of those great actors. Nobody ever... I feel like he doesn't get mentioned enough because he does good work whenever I see him. And he's good here for his brief scene. He gets a couple lines. His voice is not all the way there yet.
No.
But I'd love to see him recover. I'd love to see him have at least somewhat of a role in the new Willow series. I think it's doubtful he'll get this season, but see some sort of return for him there would be great. I mean,
Yeah, that would be.
but yeah, he does a great job here. And it just reminds me how much I miss Val Kilmer.
Yeah, it did. Seeing him on the big screen, it was like, oh, that's fucking nice, man.
Well, I'm trying to think the last role I remember him in, the big role. Like, he's been in stuff, but the last big role I remember him in, was it Tombstone?
Kiss, Bang, Bang. Kiss, Bang, Bang.
Yeah, I think that was later. That was good.
That was with Downey. That was with Downey.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah, that is a great movie.
But this is just such a good one. Oh yeah, and we can't really go too far into it and not talk about Miles Teller, who is fantastic in this movie.
He is I've been watching a series with him on Paramount Plus called The Offer lately, where he plays one of the producers that helped get The Godfather made. So it's like, and and I believe the series is based off of his book, like the guy who Miles Teller is portraying in this. But honestly, Miles Teller is like really one of my favorite things of that show.
Oh.
I mean, like the whole cast in that show is great, but Miles Teller in particular, he is very great as an actor. And I've genuinely liked everything I've ever seen him in, because the more I watch it, I think, oh, that's right, he was in that. He was great in that.
Well,
that.
I'm
sorry.
I think he's a great actor. I'm trying to think. I wanted to blah blah blah. The Fantastic Four movie. I think it's worth saying, yes, he did lead in that, but there are lots of great actors in that movie. They all suffered there. There's that.
Toby Bell is a great actor. Just he had some terrible direction in that movie.
Yeah, no, that movie was a shit show. I don't think anybody recovered from that one. But great actors.
The actress who played Sue Storm, I know, was she was in the news recently.
Oh, what happened with her? Kate Mara?
I guess that I guess that she was unhappy that Marvel didn't approach her to reprise her role.
Oh, well, it didn't approach a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some rumors, but.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're already showing one of the main four in another feature. I guarantee you they have already had that four picked from that Easter egg was at the end of the second Spider-Man movie.
You see,
they've already had their casting for that.
I'm not as confident about that. I almost feel like that little Easter egg of John Krasinski was kind of just something.
Was fan service?
Yeah, some fan service. Will he be picked for Mr. Fantastic? I feel like now they've kind of opened the doors so they can go either way with it. Yeah,
true. But I mean, one could also argue, and that we're getting way off topic here.
Well, yeah, this is Top Gun, right?
Well, but I'm gonna bring it right back into to Maverick. But if it's the same actor, portraying the same person in either universe, such as Strange, that universe is Strange and are Strange, then it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. However, I did hear kind of ideas, or there was talks that somebody was going to play that universe's Iron Man, and it was going to be Tom Cruise. Yeah. Like, he was going to wear the full thing. Yeah.
Well, that was the huge rumor that obviously didn't pan out.
It didn't pan out, but I mean, I've heard that he wanted to do it, but because Tom Cruise does cameos like that, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibilities. Think about the cameo he did in Tropic Thunder. I was
going to say, that's got to be one of the most famous cameos ever, is his role in Tropic Thunder.
Or him in Rock of Ages. He's really not like a star in that movie. He just kind of cameos. Yeah. So, I wouldn't put it past him just to be him doing a Robert Downey impersonation, because I think that he was approached to be Iron Man at first.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And lots of people were saying it was the lead scene. I'm like, there's no way they hired Tom Cruise, paid him, and then to fucking deleted it. It never
to cut him.
Yeah, it never.
Like he no. No, even if it's a bad take,
Yeah.
they still would have kept it because it's Tom Cruise dressed as Iron Man.
Let's assume it's all garbage and they can't use it in the movie. They will have thought of a way to sneak it into a mid credits or something like that. Just
Yeah.
they will use something.
Or even introduce the blooper reels, but have it be like, the Hulk in like, Professor Hulk. It's just Ruffalo doing that, but they still have it CGI'd as Hulk, but them cutting it up in between scenes. Like, I think that would be comic gold.
Yeah. But yes, Miles Teller in Top Gun 2, Miles Teller bringing it back subtly. Nobody noticed.
Yes, Teller. Nobody did. Sorry, that's what we do.
But Miles Teller, he plays. God, I want to say he plays Goose. No, he plays Rooster, who is Goose's
Rooster,
son.
yeah.
Which you brought up before we were live. How that is the. There's definitely some playing with time here a little bit, because
some numbers.
Yeah, because we do see Rooster in the first one as like a kid, as like
5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah, it could be 4 if you want to push it, but yeah, he's young.
Yeah.
So that means Miles Teller in this movie, early 40s.
Yeah.
So let's assume he's probably not supposed to be that old.
Yeah, let's like maybe late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. And so that means probably age down Tom Cruise 10 years, sure. That makes him about the same age as Jennifer Connelly then. Who, hey, okay. And I will say, I like Jennifer Connelly in this movie.
As an addition, as a new character, yeah.
She does. I wish they had written a bit more for her to do, other than just kind of be the love interest. Because I do feel like the meat of this story is very much Maverick and Rooster.
It is. I feel that it really is, and it did kind of remind me of like movies of that time period.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Of when Tom, like, especially since you brought that up with Jennifer Connelly. Like, I mean, Jennifer Connelly is a very talented actress, an amazing actress, and yeah, I kind of think that she would have more to play than just the love interest. And I kind of just that's one thing I feel it was a little lacking.
But
I
will say the chemistry between her and Tom Cruise is way better than the chemistry between her and him and Kelly.
Far more convincing.
Oh, yeah.
Far more convincing. Yes.
I don't know if it was quite as good as it was between Maverick and Iceman in the last movie, but it was better than.
Well, definitely, I know that there was some things I noticed with Miles Teller's performance is that he did when he was hanging out with his fellow pilots, like the pilots his age, especially in the bar scene, he was almost mimicking Anthony Edwards' performance.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way.
Like mannerisms and appearance. And I noticed him do it a lot of the other times when bragging with other people. Like things he would do with his face would be the same way that he did that. And I wonder, did he just pick up and decide to do that as his own? Like it's a trait he just picked up from his dad that he didn't know about? Because they did say that his mom also died.
Yeah.
She died too.
I guess they can't get
which
Meg
I think
Ryan
was
back.
that movie's. Yeah, I guess Meg didn't want to return.
Yeah. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed when they just said she died. I was like, oh, really? That's kind of...
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, that's some weak sauce. We can't even get a ghost goose. I was kind of hoping
I was
for
kind
that.
of wondering if they would do something like that.
Are they going to do Talk to Be Goose? Just go with it. What?
But...
him just losing his mind. That's really the plot of this movie.
I think one of the things I really enjoyed, though, was just the end of this movie. The essentially, you have the random shooting war essentially started at the beginning of the last one. But you compare it to this, where it's like this whole aerial maneuver they have to do to blow up this one area. And then essentially it's a fight for their lives to get out. And then, it gets even more extreme when, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but eventually we get to a point where it's like what? The best generation fighters, apparently more advanced than anything the United States has. Versus the old beat-up plane flown by Tom Cruise with Rooster in the Rio seat, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but it was fun. This is a fun movie.
I had a lot of
yes.
fun. Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of fun in the theater, and I even though like it was a small, it was not a packed house. It was not a packed
Well, you
house.
saw it
There
Sunday
was
night.
maybe 10 of.
I saw it Saturday
Yeah.
night. It was a lot fuller than I expected. It wasn't Doctor Strange too
Well-
full, but there was a decent audience.
Well, yeah. I also picked a showtime where I knew it wouldn't be crowded, just because I had kind of just spent the past 2 days, traveling in the car for like 10 plus hours. So I kind of wanted an area where I could stretch out, relax a little and just enjoy the movie and not have it be like a super, super packed event. I was surprised that there was barely 10 of us in that theater.
Well, yeah.
Like I even checked it, I went to go on their website right before the screening, before the lights went down for the initial previews. And it was like, wow, there's maybe 8 seats that have been sold to this. This might be a quiet house. And it was. I mean, everyone in there did enjoy the movie. There were cheers, jeers. People laughed when they should have.
Well, it's a fun one. I would say this is definitely worth checking out. I do want to say I do see people blowing up a bit too much about it. I've seen so many people saying this is the best movie they've seen in years and stuff. It gets a bit over the top.
I'll say it definitely, you see that they put a lot of work into this movie, like camera crew, the sound team, like the visual, the the videography of it too is just like the cinematic. Oh my God, this thing is just gorgeous.
Yes.
Looks gorgeous on film. There are some amazing shots in this that I was very much in awe of. And through the first aerial scenes that they showed in the movie, which is pretty much in that 8-minute sequence that they've already released before, like it dropped. I think they released it the weekend before.
That seems familiar. I didn't watch it, but yeah.
While we were out in Colorado, some friends hadn't seen Doctor Strange too, so we went to go see that on one of the first days we arrived. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you this, Bob. When we got there, we got 14 inches of snow.
Oh jeez.
We drove in that snowstorm right at the beginning. Just backed into our parking spot, unloaded the car, and stayed in our hotel room for 2 days. We did not leave. Our friend who lived there, he came and got us. He was like, "Yeah, no, you're driving us, man." Like, no, we are no. We could deal with a city, but on a mountain, no, we are not driving in this. He's like, "No, it's cool, guys. I'll get you."
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, so in the theater, this was one of the trailers for it. When we saw Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay.
So I got to watch that with a whole row of new people who hadn't seen it yet.
Nice.
It was hard not to answer and just spoil things. Wait, why are they doing this? Lean to me. Why are they doing this? I go, do you want me to spoil it? Because I will. No, don't. Okay. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I'm willing to spoil it, but I don't recommend it. I don't recommend.
Yeah, and it's like, well, because it won't make sense if I explain it. It's like, well, can you do it without spoiling it? No.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Just pay attention.
But yeah.
But this was one of the trailers. That whole initial class with the that first sequence of him taking them all out and doing push-ups. That was the trailer that we saw for this. Even watching it, that's kind of like, okay, I might see that in the theater. That looks okay. I'm sold. Even the sound looked great. I was a little mad I didn't splurge for Dolby Digital, like the big IMAX screen.
So in the chat, Puma Fist is asking, is there a black gay pilot in the movie? And I remember a black pilot in the movie. I don't remember if he was gay or if that was ever established.
Or I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think they ever established it.
Yeah, I don't think they ever established that, Puma.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that.
If so, it might have been cut or something. Yeah, there was a black pilot. Was that Payback? Or something
I believe,
like that.
yes.
Yeah, it was something like that, yes. It was not
Fanboy. No, it wasn't Fanboy. It wasn't Fanboy.
It wasn't a huge character, but he was definitely one of the pilots. Like, I want to say of the pilots
In
we
the-
see, I guess we should probably go over. Obviously, Rooster's the main one, but probably the second main one would either be Hangman or Phoenix. Hangman's just a guy
Phoenix.
who's kind of a dick, and he's called Hangman because he leaves his wingman out to dry.
Yeah, he's kind of the jerk bag, and that's very well established early in the movie.
What I also like is he's kind of the jerk bag, but he's also kind of the new Maverick. He's kind of mavericking to look at younger.
I thought he was
himself.
more of. I thought he was. I got more of Iceman.
Really? No, I got more of Maverick.
Just that
and
slick
Iceman.
back. He had the slick back Val Kilmer hair, dude.
Well, I mean,
Val
visually
Kilmer had.
maybe, but I feel like attitude-wise,
Yeah.
it was definitely more of a Maverick attitude. I felt like. Remember?
Oh yeah.
But then like in more of the background, well, Bob I even felt was more there. And then you had like Payback, and I don't know who the name of the other one was.
Fanboy.
Yeah, Fanboy was definitely one of them there.
Oh, don't forget Bob.
Well, I mentioned Bob because there's like the main ones, which are like Rooster's obviously the main one, and then like step down you get Hangman and Phoenix, and then maybe step down you get Bob, then step down again it's like the rest.
Yeah, there was a Fanboy and Payback, who was played by Jay Ellis. Fanboy was played by Danny Ramirez. Bob was played by Louis Pullman.
I always meant to look. Is he related to Bill Pullman at all?
I meant to look that up too.
Because I noticed that
I was
name.
curious when
Yeah,
I saw that. I Parents Bill.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Parents Bill.
That'll help you get jobs, I guess.
And Tamara. I guess. Hurwitz, yeah. Jack and Messiah. He has siblings. Oh, okay. Wow, he's 29. Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
he kind of looks like his dad.
Yeah, no, I can kind of see that too, which is kind of like not even the name, but like to a degree, kind of looking at him, it's like it could be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that those are all the pilots. Yeah.
They might have planned on the character being gay, but it might be cut because Tomcat is the black guy. Let's see. Tomcat doesn't ring a bell, Puma. Now I'm going to have to look it up here. All right. Okay, Payback is definitely the character I'm thinking of as the pilot. I don't think it's Tomcat. I don't. But yeah, if he was planned to be gay, I think it was a deleted scene, or it was a blink and you miss it thing, maybe set up so they could try for a China release, which is always so lame. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we head into the final frontier?
No, let us share in our pain.
Okay.
I guess the only thing I'd add to it is just see that movie.
Yeah. It's Top Gun 2. If you like the first one at all, definitely see the second one, because the second one's even better.
Yeah.
But, Bobby, do you know why they are putting seatbelts in theaters this summer?
Oh, why is that?
I don't know, but that is the official tagline for Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Oh, so it is.
Oh
my God.
I know. It's the official tagline for the most boring Star Trek there is. I don't know. I guess we haven't gotten into there's some stinkers later too, but yeah, this is the first real stinker of the bunch.
Oh yeah, like sometimes you see the writer and the director's fingerprints all over this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this was directed by William Shatner. He did some story work on it too. Yeah, this was him.
Yeah.
Like, Leonard Nimoy had done the last two, and it was part of the contract where if Leonard Nimoy gets to do stuff, Shatner gets to do stuff, so he decided to pull that part of the contract and do part 5.
And they each get paid the same.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's kind of beautiful. I got to give them both credit for that. That's well done, boys.
But there was also a writer's strike during the time when this was being made. And I swear to God, there was a special effects strike, too, because,
Yeah, well, it's a labor and a union one.
Okay. This looks like it was made on the cheap. And part of the thing with Star Trek is after the first one, they really made them on the cheap. But this is the first one where it shows so bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there are moments in the other ones where you can kind of see, like, where it shows a little bit, but here, it's, like, nonstop. It's showing. And one thing that bugs me about watching this, because it's a slog to get through, but there are really good story ideas in this one. Stuff where it's like, oh God, that's interesting. Too bad they don't do shit with it. Like, I didn't even remember that the planet they start out on, where our main bad guy starts out on, is supposed to be this planet of peace, where you have delegations from the Federation, the Klingon Empire, and Romulans. And they're on this planet, but they're kind of forgotten about. And, they're important individuals, but they're just kind of abandoned here. Now, what do they do with this? Jack shit, for the most part.
Oh, fuck all is what they do with it.
Also...
I mean, like, I swear this isn't a joke. Like, a Romulan, a Klingon, and a human walk into a bar.
Yeah.
Because that's literally how this plot gets going.
Well, I want to talk about the main villain, because I actually think the main villain's an interesting idea. Again, what you have is this Vulcan, who essentially, it's never firmly established, but I assume he used some sort of variation of mind melds to, like, get people to release their pain, as he calls it, or, share their pain. Just kind of to help him along, and he built up like this cult following doing this thing for people.
It's never, they don't establish how he can do this or anything, which again, like you said, is a great idea. But let's dig more into that instead of just kind of gloss it over. But instead, what I feel that this movie would have helped it is if we just throw on this Klingon threat for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Klingons. Oh. That would have been so easy to delete out of this movie. They're just there.
They're just there. Like, no point for them to be at all. Other than just, oh, hey, there's Klingons. Because it's Star Trek.
Yes. Well... What was
what
was the name of Christopher Lloyd's character? Was it Kurg or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Kurg.
Here's a story idea. Make this Klingon Kurg's son. He finds out where Kirk is, and he goes on a revenge mission. That's just, getting you started out. Like, that's not a complete story.
Yeah.
But give this guy something to do. This guy's literally like shooting down satellites saying, I'm bored. Let's go after this guy for some reason.
Yeah.
It's, what the fuck is that? There's no emotional connection there. I don't give a shit about this guy.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. It's not even so much I need to care about him as much as it feels tacked on, because it fucking is.
Didn't we do this in the last movie and barely use the Klingons in that one?
Yeah. Oh.
Or no, that was 3.
No, that was 3. 3 does it way better.
Yeah, 3 did it way better of not using Klingons.
Yeah, at least 3, like, the Klingons are going after Genesis, and, that would be about the time Self-Titled came out, and that was a good album. So I get why they're going after Genesis, but, But... okay, so you got this Vulcan cult leader. He's building up a cult. He does take those ambassadors hostage, which is the only thing they really do. The Enterprise has to go save them. And I love how, like, the Enterprise is busted up. And, so Kirk gets a call, hey, we want you to go do this mission. And Kirk's like, well, there's ships are actually in good working order. The Enterprise can't do this. And he's like, ships in good working order, but no experienced commanders. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, get a shuttle and move Kirk to one of those fucking ships then.
Cool. Yeah. Take my tool. Get some shuttles. Take me and my crew to those ships.
It's like, what are you doing?
My ship is falling apart.
I mean, okay, if he's that valuable to you, I get it. Just move him someplace else. He doesn't need to be on the Enterprise. Well, it's fucked,
Yeah, and unlike Voyage Home, as opposed to making use of several of the ship's crew, most of them kind of don't have anything to do the entire film, like Sulu.
Yeah, no, none of them really do.
Or Scotty.
Well,
I think it's just Chekhov, Uhura.
Well, Sulu, Scotty gets a little bit. I'll say Scotty gets a little bit, but this is...
He gets knocked out by his own ship after saying...
It's a bit humiliating, but gets a little bit. Oh, and I thought the idea of... they kind of implied that Scotty and Uhura might be flirting, at least, early stages of a relationship. What do they do with that? Fuck all.
Nothing. Let her do a fan dance on a hill. That's what they do with it.
Oh, the fan dance. Oh.
Again, sometimes you could see a director's fingerprints all over the film.
William Shatner.
Like the three-titted cats.
Yes.
Like that he had to have a fight with.
There is that scene where they're breaking in and saving the hostages. And Kirk, I feel like there are moments where Kirk really wants this to be like Die Hard. Although I think this might be a little bit after Die Hard. But yeah, he wants it to be like his Die Hard, but he's not willing to go all in on it. So it just doesn't work. But there's that solo fight where the cat jumps on him, and there's nothing to that fight at all.
No.
It just, lots of screaming. And
he
throws her into water that kills her or knocks her out instantly for some reason.
I saw Raptors go out with more dignity in the other movie we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not even close. Not even. Oh. But yes, we have this Vulcan cult leader. He's building up his cult, and his goal is to find God. This is an interesting idea wasted on this movie as well.
Yeah.
They say God is in the center of... Is it the known universe or the known solar... No, it's not the solar system.
At the edge of the known universe, I believe.
And they get there in 2 hours? I don't know.
Yeah, and they go through the threshold.
Yeah, that's the thing about the fucking threshold. They talk about how nobody's ever crossed it. And then they just go through it. And it's nothing. It's like fog. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I mean, they could have gone 2001 level sci-fi with that, but no, just a soundstage with a lot of fog and strobe lighting.
I don't even understand. It's like nobody's ever crossed it.
And more bad CGI.
Nobody got into a ship and tried to go through it ever. Not once. No.
Not even once.
I remember Expanse not that too long ago, when there's these ring devices that end up spawning in this series. And one of the things that the government tries to do is coordinate it off or quarantine it off so they can do experiments. But they still couldn't stop motherfuckers from experimenting and flying through those things to see what happened. And yet somehow, center of the edge universe, this mysterious planet, nobody wants to touch it for some reason until the Enterprise decides, let's just go forward here. Yeah. This movie sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I guess we should talk about God in this movie. I believe in expanded universe stuff, they have explained that this was supposed to be a prison planet, and this was supposed to be a super powerful being that was just locked up on this planet.
Like Orbo?
Sure. But
from Futurama.
Yes. But they don't establish that here. So this is just kind of a super powerful alien but he gets taken out by... well, he's not taken out by the first torpedo they show, but he's taken out by Klingon blasters later. Because that makes sense, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, like from a bird of prey, he's able to be taken out. Which, by the way, that general was with them the entire time, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, ever since they went to free the hostage, he's been with them the whole time.
Yeah, he could have like told them to stand down a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before he actually decided to do that.
Let's be fair. Those Klingons did fuck all until the last little bit. They kept on doing hints of them throughout the movie, where like everybody's shocked at the sight of God, so nobody's looking at the fucking sensors, and the sensors apparently aren't even doing alarms. Of course, the ship's not even supposed to work. So, okay.
Okay. Hey, I gotta swap out.
Okay. But yeah, this is just a Bobby switched out his battery, guys. But yeah, this is bad. Some things I do want to mention is the actor who plays Sybok, the main villain. His name is Lawrence Luckinbill, and I'm sorry if I got that name wrong. But he does a good job. Their original goal was to cast Sean Connery, and I think that won't be an interesting casting, but I do think this guy does a good job. Given that this is a thankless role. Just so bad. And apparently, in the planet at the end, there were supposed to be rock monsters that they fight. I think... Hey, now that you're back, I'm about ready to get to the more interesting stuff, because one thing I definitely want to talk about is how... brain fart. Yeah, you mainly get the main three in this movie. You get McCoy, Spock, and Kirk. And you brought up a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
you get a little bit more Scotty. And
I kind of thought that was interesting, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was brought up how... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, how we do get more of the main three.
Yeah.
Like those three, and we get their dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been kind of shown, but never fully, I guess, forced on or leaned heavy on as it is in this.
Well,
which I enjoy it. I don't know if we needed as much time dedicated to the row your boat scene, because wasn't there a hostage situation going on that they were cutting back and forth from? Well, still, I think as the audience, I think I'm more invested in the hostage situation than,
well,
row your boat.
Well, lending credence to my William Shatner wanting to do a Star Trek Die Hard, his original plan for this was to have not only just most of the crew be taken over by Sybok, but also McCoy and Spock. And it was just supposed to be him against the bad guys. He's the only one that sees things straight.
Yeah, I've read that too.
It sounds very egotistical and cringe.
Yeah, no wonder half of the crew protested it.
Well, yeah,
and the cast.
That's the thing. It's only Leonard Nimoy and DeForest Kelly who had enough power in their contracts to say, no, our characters aren't doing that.
No.
So that's how come it's so much of them, because all the stuff where it's all the three of them, a lot of that was originally just supposed to be Shatner. It seems like such a waste. Like, so many of the characters are just... I don't want to say zombies, just whatever in this movie.
Just kind of there.
Yeah. It's such a waste. Yeah, in case you didn't notice, I do not like this movie.
No.
Maybe my mind will change, because it's been a while, but I definitely think I like this less than Insurrection. Nemesis, the big one when we get to. I don't know if that'll be named the new worst one. This is the worst one so far, easily. I don't know if Nemesis will take it when we get to it. Nemesis is
at least we got a good one on the horizon, man.
Yeah,
there's a good one on the horizon.
We got a couple of good ones coming. Well, we got a good one, not as bad one, though that's still bad, and then another good one.
Yeah, we got a real good one next.
Yes.
And then an all right.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Could have been a lot better, but okay.
It's okay.
It
is exactly. And then a pretty decent one.
Yeah.
Then an all right one.
Yeah, we will get to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Trek V. Why are they putting seatbelts in theaters this summer? I have no fucking idea. Probably for Batman or Indiana Jones 3.
Yeah, or Ghostbusters 2, or anything else that opened up around the same time.
God, yeah, I don't like Ghostbusters 2 at all, but this is definitely worse than Ghostbusters 2. Oh,
The Scarellis!
Oh, yeah, no, just that one trial scene by itself makes it better than this movie.
Really, I think the dancing toaster is far better. I mean, I would have rather taken
I don't know
6
about that, but an
rock
argument
monsters
can be made.
to 6 rock monsters to Ghostbusters 2 1 dancing toaster.
Yeah.
I would have taken 6 fighting rock monsters.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even get 1.
Yeah.
I've heard in an interview where William Shatner said that it pretty much just looked like a guy in a costume.
Yeah, and to my
as much as they tried to
really
not make
bad,
it look like, it just as much as we tried to not make it look like our guy in a costume, it still looked like our guy in a costume.
We didn't even talk about the effects really, but they're bad. Like the scene where more ego.
Well, I know that
Shatner climbing that mountain and he falls. The screening on that scene is so bad when he's falling. Oh.
Yeah, it's not good.
But
I was going to talk about how ILM was unavailable because they were working on Last Crusade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Last Crusade is what came out. Is what came out during this, and that's also why they couldn't get Mr. Connery, because he was filming Last Crusade.
I thought Connery just said no, but maybe it was Last Crusade.
Maybe it was Last Crusade. I mean, hey, that he could have used Last Crusade as an excuse to why he won't do it.
Yeah, that's true too. It's like, no, I'm busy with Last Crusade. No, actually, we don't start for another month. I'm busy.
I'm already filming another movie.
Did you already finish filming that? Pickups.
Yes.
But yeah, this one's up.
Yeah, so they couldn't get ILM, so I can't remember the name of the other studio that they went with, but they tried. They did, and a lot of them were stuff that Shatner wanted to go back and fix and correct, kind of like God's face at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But Paramount wouldn't give him any more money, so they had to stick with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm kind of curious to see if he would have had, ILM at his disposal and everything worked out. Yeah, I would have liked to see his full vision. I really would have. I mean, and I'm not trying to defend Final Frontier by any means, but I think if they would have dove more into those ideas.
Oh yeah. Well, the whole idea of searching for God was actually an idea Gene Roddenberry had for the first one that they decided to drop.
But Gene was also against this as an idea too. He hated this too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like
it's a good. I don't know. It was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That, like we've said, they should have dove into it a little bit more.
So many good ideas, all of it just barely scratched at the surface. Good casting for the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Really wasted. Really wasted.
Absolutely.
But are we ready to talk about some dinosaurs now?
Oh. You mean the mistakes of John Hammond?
Yes. The mistakes of John Hammond. Yes, Jurassic World. Leading up to Jurassic World Dominion here in a couple weeks, we are going through the Jurassic World movies. We already talked about Jurassic Park. We skipped 2 and 3. Now we're on to 4.
There's a part of me that's a little upset that we skipped 2. While I was watching this.
Yeah. Well.
But then again, I had to remember there's that scene where I'm gonna have to listen to a baby dinosaur just like being very obnoxious for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that we went with this one because it's been a while since I've seen this one.
We will have a chance to pick that up if they make another Jurassic Park movie, which of course they will. I mean, they're saying this is the last one, but I doubt it. If this one makes money,
I think this is the last of the World series because I mean they're no longer doing Park. I think.
So next we'll have Jurassic daycare
Planet.
center. I don't know.
Planet.
Jurassic Planet, sure. Jurassic
Hemisphere.
Solar System.
No, hemisphere. Hemisphere.
Yeah. But yeah. So I will say this is my second favorite Jurassic Park movie, and I enjoyed it more watching it this time than I've watched it than more recent rewatches. Not as much as the first time. I did really enjoy this the first time I watched it. And every watch after that's been a little bit less, but this one, a little bit up. I like a lot of the ideas here, and I feel like they do kind of explore them. Like this one really it understands the anti-corporatist idea to a degree. It's weird. It talks about the anti-corporatist, anti-capitalism stuff, kind of like the first Jurassic Park does, but while at the same time feeling like this giant corporate thing. It's a weird mix watching this. And I don't, like, to a degree, it feels kind of self-aware, but maybe not. I love the idea of the Verizon Wireless presents the Indominus Rex.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. And yeah, they do really dive into those themes really well. They handle it very good in this movie, but they do a good job of telling it through a few different narratives. Like we get it from Vince D'Onofrio's character.
Yeah.
As I would say, just the chaotic character in it, definitely.
Yeah.
Because he wants to weaponize raptors, for God's sakes.
Yeah, which is the most insane idea I've ever heard in my life. But of course, we'll get explored more in the next one.
Yeah, you hear that, and I haven't seen this in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was watching that, I remember watching it thinking, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, how long have you been employed for engines, sir?
Yeah. Like, he seems dedicated to making, like, okay, kind of getting into the story a little bit. So, Owen Brady, is it Brady or Brady?
Grady.
Brady.
I think Grady.
Yes, is the Chris Pratt character, and he's kind of training raptors, not really to behave, but kind of not to, like, attack him and to listen to him to a degree.
Yeah.
And Vincent D'Onofrio sees this for like a little bit and decides these guys would be great weapons of war because they didn't eat him. It's like, okay, that's a bit of a stretch.
Well, we're jumping a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely jumping a bit.
But I wanted, but how they tell the different narrative where you hear it from his perspective, and it's just kind of. Yeah, you don't agree with it, but you see the logic, but you also know where it will fail.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But you just see his blind dedication to it, and it's just kind of more of like, are you hearing yourself right now? Mm-hmm. But one thing I have to say, though, it is pretty cool when you see the park at its fullest and greatest potential in the beginning.
Yes. In fact,
it is, yeah.
Oh, I wanted to talk about how in the first one, you get the soaring Jurassic Park theme when they're flying in, and you're seeing like the forest in the park, and it looks great.
Yeah.
And here you get it, and what do you see? You see the park filled with people, and it's like,
people.
Ooh, that's weird. It's kind of
weird,
messed
but
up.
it's also kind of super mesmerizing.
Yeah.
It only gets messed up, I think, later, but I'll talk about that when we get to that part.
Yeah. Well, another thing I like about this movie is it's brought up how B.D. Wong, his character, I can't think of his name. Henry Wu?
It is Henry Wan.
Okay.
I think it is Henry Wan.
Okay. He comes back from the first one, even though he dies in the book, but we don't see his fate in the movie, so he comes back for this one. And he talks about how none of the dinosaurs they talk about how can you make up a dinosaur? And he's like, well, all these dinosaurs are kind of just guesstimates. We're missing lots of code, so we just kind of fill it in with what people will think to see. We don't know what these creatures actually look like. We're just fucking around, essentially. It's like, I thought that was an interesting idea to put in there, kind of to cover their butts on a bit on like, oh, these aren't exact dinosaurs. Be like, well, yeah, of course they're not. This is what people expect dinosaurs to be, so this is what we're giving them. I thought that was a cool idea to introduce.
I also very much like how we're pretty much, as you can see from Bryce Dallas Howard's character, Claire, how you see she is pretty much just taking what John Hammond's idea was and philosophy and just operating the business off that model.
Yeah.
And, but she also has a boss, I believe Mr. Mazzarelli.
Yes, the guy who's kind of taking over the John Hammond spot.
Yeah, who kind of said, who's taken the ownership of it, because he even says John Hammond left all the interest to me with his dying wish that I would do this. Yeah. And, she later introduces him to his newest investment, which is a genetically engineered dinosaur.
Yes.
Because, they decided that people are tired of seeing your same old dinosaurs. Let's create one. Because what could go wrong there?
But
they never fully reveal what it's all made of or what all they spliced together to create this thing. We get a tease of it. We don't get to see it at first, and this is when they introduce Owen, Chris Pratt's character, and I didn't bother writing his name down. I just called him Engine Dick.
Yeah. Oh, what, Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny, you write down Engine
sometimes
Dick. I'm like, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, well, either that or sometimes I refer to him as Pile.
Yeah, he is so obviously just sleazy.
Such a jerkbag,
Yeah.
but Vincent D'Onofrio is so good at playing a jerkbag.
One thing I definitely want to talk about, and this is definitely jumping around. So, because it's borrowing a lot from the first movie, obviously, we have two kids. Claire's nephews are there with the goal that they'll spend the weekend with their aunt at this park. And, of course, she immediately sticks them with the babysitter, and they run off the first chance they get because the babysitter's just playing on her phone.
Yep.
And then when they finally meet up with the babysitter, they give her the most gruesome death in the movie. Like, they are hardcore on her. And it's like, holy shit. She was just on her phone doing something she probably, she shouldn't even be watching the kids in the first place. That should be what Claire's doing. And you gave her that death? Holy shit.
What was it? She was picked up by one pterodactyl.
She was picked up by multiple pterodactyls, dragged all over the fucking place.
Yeah, and then dropped in water, and then dove attacked by a few of them.
Yes.
Then picked up by back talons, and then eaten by a giant crustacean of the water.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god. I get it. Okay, watch the kids instead of playing on your phone, but fuck, man.
Message.
Holy shit. Somebody had a baby. Somebody on the writing staff had a babysitter they really didn't like. That's all I'm saying there.
Some unchecked aggression there.
Oh my god. Oh.
I also love that Owen is the most practical one in all of this, where they think the genetically engineered dinosaur got out. I mean, shocking.
No, I never saw that coming. Although we do have to talk about that escape, because that escape was all types of bad writing.
It gives all new meaning to clever girl.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're in there now. So.
Yeah, we're in it. Okay, so when we actually get to the first look of the dinosaur, of the genetically engineered one, what do they call it?
It's the Indominus Rex.
The Indominus Rex.
They have Owen go to the padlock to check it out, make sure it's secure, make sure it's safe for guests to come check it out, and of course he can't find it. Nobody can find it. They have a tracker on it because of course they do. But for some fucking reason, they can't check it out in that control room. They have to contact the main control room to contact the tracker. And what's more, she can't contact the main control room from that paddock's control room. She has to leave that paddock's control room, drive off so she can call up the main control room and get the tracking. What the fuck
Question.
is that? One.
Why the fuck doesn't she have something on her fucking BlackBerry that she could just like, oh, it's in the cage.
No, that's like, number one, employees should have access to something like that. But I was even thinking, what they should just have is like a free app. You come to this island, you download this app. If you're wondering where the dinosaurs are that are in the paddock, click on this app. It's right there. Everybody should see where the dinosaur is. It's right fucking there. Look on your phone.
Remember, download the app.
Yes.
It just costs $10.99.
It's like, why
Brought
would
to you
you
by
set
Pepsi.
it up that way? Yes, Claire is Bryce Dallas Howard, Puma. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that escape.
How is the chat? Is it just Puma in there? Or?
No, we got a few people. We got in
okay.
here. Thanks for everybody who's joined us. But yeah, we got Puma.
Yes, thank you.
It's gotta be easier
Hello
with my
all.
phone. Puma, Alex Lemons, Nate. We got a few people in here.
Okay. What's up, people?
Hey, people. But yes, so obviously the big dinosaur escapes. What this actually comes up to something else, because there's this great scene with the only practical effect in it, I think, and it's the dying brontosaurus after it escapes. It kills a whole bunch of brontosauruses, and it's kind of sad because you see it kill it, but it doesn't. It doesn't like eat them or anything. It's obviously doing this for fun, and that's fucked up. But you get this great shot of Chris Pratt with an actual practical brontosaurus head, kind of, soothing it while it dies. It's kind of a nice shot.
Yeah. It is.
And some of the shots drive me nuts, because there are these shots with the raptor's head sticking out of the wall in these pens, and that should have been practical, but wasn't. And it looks, it's good CGI, but won't look better practical, because you can still tell it's CGI. Yeah.
Yeah, they look bad.
Yeah, I think they look as good as possible with CGI, but don't do CGI for that is the issue. Don't do that. Literally, it's just a fucking raptor head.
It's a fucking puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if this was done in 91, that shot would have looked better because they would have had to do a practical raptor head.
Yeah.
It would have looked better.
Yeah, and they probably would have been the most expensive effect in the whole movie.
But yeah, so eventually, the guy, I don't remember his name, but the guy taking over for Hammond, he dies, breaking into a pterodactyl pen and releasing all the pterodactyls onto the good guest.
Yeah, he crashes a helicopter.
After that,
one flies in. Well, he almost loses his gunner, and then he gets taken out by a pterodactyl, and then another one crashes into the cockpit and stabs the other pilot.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that his helicopter was had the only live gun on it, which is a hell of a gun. But of course, now that gets destroyed. No. But they first try to extract it with non-lethal weapons, and then they find out that the dinosaur pulled its tracking device out. Yeah, and that I kind of like what they do with the Indominus Rex. I wish they didn't do so much dumb shit in this movie too, because I think I want to stress overall, I think this is a fun movie. This is definitely the second best Jurassic Park movie in my opinion. It's not
absolutely
great though.
And there was like plenty of nice callbacks to the old Jurassic Park movies.
Yes.
Like in the beginning, that one guy in the control room was wearing a Jurassic Park shirt.
Yes, yes.
And she's like, "Don't you think that's in bad taste?"
But he was like, "That park was legit, man."
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the boys fix up the old Jeep, and they find the old visitor center. Which all that stuff was really cool.
Yeah, it was fun getting those little callbacks. And of course, I guess, so we talked about the main guy in charge of the park dies with the one live gun, in the pterodactyl pit. And that leaves, what do you call him? InGen douchebag in charge.
Yeah, Engine Dick.
He's not technically in charge, but he goes ahead and takes charge because I don't know who else would be in charge, like the control room guys.
So Private Pyle's in charge of everything now.
And he's instantly like, okay, let's set the Raptors off to track down this thing. And it's like,
yeah.
And then Owen shows up and he's against it, but essentially the guy says, hey, I want you to lead this mission. You can either lead it or just not be a part of it. And we're doing it without, no matter what. So, of course, he says, okay, I'm leading it. And, of course, they get the Raptors to track down the Indominus Rex. And, of course, the Indominus Rex, and that's when they find out it's part Raptor. So they instantly start talking and working together to hunt down the humans.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, of course. That's why this is a bad fucking idea.
Yeah, because maybe having information like that would have been crucial before, we all agreed that this was the best plan of, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you do, this is the scene where you get the raptor attack, because I feel like every Jurassic Park movie needs a raptor attack. It's just after that kitchen scene, it's iconic. You gotta do something. Yeah. Well, even in the second one, you get that field scene. We'll talk about that at some point, I'm sure, but that field scene where you just see like you see the field going down, and then you see
those guys just dropping.
God,
yeah,
that's such a simple shot, but so effective.
That overhead shot of them creeping in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some good Spielberg.
We'll get to it at some point, I'm sure, but yeah, I like this movie more than that one, but that shot, fuck.
Yeah, that's just beautiful.
But yeah, you get the raptor attack, and one of the things I like in the raptor attack is there's this moment where Owen finds himself face to face with one of them. It's not Blue, obviously, but it's one of the other ones, and you can see the raptor hesitate, and then that raptor gets killed, unfortunately. But I don't know how unfortunate it is since he's killing all the other ones.
I think it was Charlie.
Yeah,
I think it might have been Charlie.
But I like that moment because you see that moment where it's almost like the raptor sees him and it's like, ooh. And it's like, you could tell the raptor's like, oh, do I want to kill him? Do I want to... I don't know.
He's thinking about
him. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I want to hurt him.
Yeah.
I don't want, no.
Yeah.
I don't.
It was a nice, bittersweet moment, but, at the same time, I can't blame whoever shot him for blowing him up because,
No. Yeah, that I also wasn't expecting that. Like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. But
I when they hooked them up before they sent them hunting, I also have the they had them in raptor vision too.
Yes. Respond to chat here.
And then Engine, they got rid of all their, they got BD1 out of there with all the assets.
Yes, of course. So don't worry. There's sequels afoot, and we will get to the next sequel next week. Is it next? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on the schedule for next week. Oh, God, I remember hating that movie. We will get to it though, but eventually we get to a point where we're in the main visitor area. We have our main characters there, the two kids, Claire and Owen, and they encounter the raptors first before Indominus pops up, as I recall.
Yeah, and then we get the ultimate callback.
Yeah,
T-Rex.
Yes. Well, I do love the moment where the raptors find themselves face to face with Owen and Indominus, and they have to choose in that moment which side are you on. Because before they didn't see Owen, so they didn't really, it was like, okay, let's team up with this guy. That sounds like fun. But when they actually were forced with that choice, I thought it was kind of cool that they chose Owen. And it's like, okay, cool. You okay. Okay. Well done, guys. But yeah, of course, then you get the huge dinosaur battle. All the dinosaurs are there's only 3 raptors and two die, leaving Blue, of course.
Yeah, one gets incinerated.
Yeah, their deaths are, as I don't even recall what the other one was, but as I recall, they were pretty rough. They were.
I think the other one got like destroyed and kind of eaten.
Yeah,
half eaten.
That's right. Yeah, he was chewing on it. I remember that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes about as well as you'd expect. 3 raptors versus this giant Indominus Rex. Not great.
And the T-Rex and the and Blue team up, kind of.
Yeah. Well, before we get the T-Rex, we get that iconic shot of Claire running in high heels. Why don't they have her take off her shoes before she does that? It's like, why would you do that? That's like the most unrealistic thing in my life. I guess.
Like, what is she?
Maybe she's really good at high heels.
Maybe.
But,
I mean, I'm impressed.
Yeah. But it's like, what was Bryce Dallas Howard really dedicated to those high heels? Listen, guys, they make my legs look that good. I need to wear them the whole shot.
I guess. I guess.
Okay.
You sure you could run in them, Bryce? Yep. I got this.
Oh, I can definitely outrun CGI in them, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, you get the big monster battle at the end. It's the Indominus versus Blue, the Raptor, and a T-Rex. And you know what? Cool. I mean, I do feel like as these movies have gone, it's just become, what dinosaur battle are we going to get? And this is a cool one. Yeah.
And, it with a little bit of help from the Aqua Dino, too. Because it ends up eating the
that one kind of
Rex.
gets the win. And I'm not going to lie, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I feel like one of the other ones really earned that one.
Oh, okay.
I guess
see how
it's
it is.
out now, but okay.
That's cool.
But yes. Yeah, like I have my issues with this movie, but this is a good one. I enjoy it. Anything you want to add?
No, I really did enjoy this one too. I had a lot of fun watching this one, like I said, it had been a long time since I've seen this one, so I think I've seen it since it came out. So
I've maybe seen it 3 or 4 times. That being said, I haven't seen it for years. I definitely haven't seen it after watching the sequel, because that sequel really put a bad taste in my mouth for these movies. But we're gonna re-experience that one next week, so yay!
Oh yes, we are. Absolutely.
But yes, well, this was fun. I like the chat. This is interesting. Haven't done this. But yes, what do we have on the schedule for next week? I know I had to. I meant to talk about because I did have to rearrange. Okay, so next week we're doing the first 4 episodes of The Boys season 1, Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom. And then the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan. And I could see, I think Puma, where you talk about Obi-Wan in the chat, yeah, I am excited to watch that. And we will give our thoughts on that next week.
I have already watched the first 2.
Shut up. I've wanted to watch it, but I've been so busy the past few days. I mean, but,
I'm excited to get into The Boys, though.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah. I wanted to double check that one with you, but I guess it's official now.
I've already watched it, so I'll gladly rewatch it.
The Boys, yeah, I'm all caught up with The Boys, but
okay.
I do want to rewatch
Yeah, I am
it,
too.
because I would like to discuss it on the podcast, because that is a fun show.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so we got The Boys, Jurassic World 2, and Obi-Wan next week. And that will be on. I don't know if we'll live stream it here or put on the podcast. It's gonna be in one of those two. This podcast will be moved over to the podcast channel at some point, so you can watch it. I'm not going to remove it from here, but it'll also be there. So if you want to catch all the podcast stuff, if you enjoyed this, go over to the podcast channel. Link is in the description box. But yeah, I'd be interested in trying to live stream more, because I like the chat kind of throwing in stuff, because like, oh, okay, guys. But yeah. So everyone, have a good one.
Take care.
I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job, but I'm miles away from that right now. So any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.